Have you ever wondered where our ideas about democracy, art, and even how we think truly began? Let's travel back in time, over 2,500 years, to a place and an era that lit a fire still burning brightly today, the Golden Age of Greece. Imagine the city of Athens gleaming in the Mediterranean sun. The air isn't just warm, it's buzzing with energy. Fresh from a hard-won victory against the mighty Persian Empire, the Athenians are filled with a new sense of confidence and possibility. They didn't just defend their homes, they defended a way of life, an idea of freedom that would become their greatest legacy. This victory wasn't an end, but a glorious beginning. It ushered in a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity, creating the perfect environment for a cultural explosion. This wasn't just a golden age for Athens. It was a golden age for the human mind. Walking through the bustling agora, the central marketplace, you wouldn't just be dodging merchants and chariots. You'd likely bump into a man with a curious glint in his eye, engaging a young noble in a relentless series of questions. This is Socrates. He never wrote a single word, yet his ideas, passed down through his students, would form the very bedrock of Western philosophy. He famously said, "The unexamined life is not worth living," urging everyone to question their beliefs and seek true knowledge. His method, the Socratic method of questioning everything, is still used in law schools and classrooms around the world today. He challenged the powerful and made people think, a dangerous game that would ultimately cost him his life, but secure his immortality. Among those listening intently to Socrates was a brilliant young man named Plato. Deeply affected by his mentor's fate, Plato would go on to establish his own school. The Academy, which some consider the first university in Europe. He took Socrates' ideas and built upon them, exploring concepts like justice, beauty, and the nature of reality itself. In his famous allegory of the cave, he suggested that what we perceive as reality might only be shadows on a wall, and that true understanding comes from seeking the light of knowledge. Plato's writings gave us a framework for thinking about ethics, politics, and the ideal state, influencing thinkers for millennia to come. And who was Plato's most famous student? A polymath named Aristotle. If Socrates was the questioner and Plato the idealist, Aristotle was the ultimate observer and categorizer. His curiosity was boundless. He studied everything from biology and physics to logic, ethics, and poetry. He believed in understanding the world through empirical observation and logical reasoning. He classified plants and animals, analyzed different forms of government, and wrote about how to live a virtuous life. For nearly 2,000 years, if you wanted to know something about the natural world, you consulted Aristotle. Together, these three men, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, created a philosophical dynasty that defined how the West thinks about knowledge, ethics, and our place in the universe. But the brilliance of this age wasn't confined to ideas alone. You could see it, touch it, and stand in awe of it. Look up at the Acropolis, the sacred hill overlooking Athens. There, rising majestically against the blue sky, stands the Parthenon. This isn't just a temple. It's a statement dedicated to the goddess Athena, the city's patron. It was a symbol of Athenian power, pride, and devotion, designed by the architects Ectinus and Callicrates, with its sculptures overseen by the master Phidias. The Parthenon is a masterpiece of mathematical precision and artistic harmony. Every column swells slightly in the middle and leans inwards, creating an optical illusion of perfect straightness and stability. It feels alive, organic. It's a testament to the belief that beauty could be found in order, proportion, and mathematical perfection. This quest for the ideal form was everywhere. In the open-air theatres, thousands of citizens gathered to watch the birth of a new art form, drama. Playwrights like Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides explored the deepest questions of human existence, fate, justice, and the struggle between gods and mortals, their tragedies. Like Oedipus Rex or Antigone, are so powerful and relatable that they are still performed and studied today. And it wasn't all serious. The comedies of Aristophanes poked fun at politicians and philosophers, proving that free speech and satire were alive and well. In the workshops, sculptors were moving away from the rigid poses of the past. They began to create statues that looked like they could breathe and move. Figures like the Doryphoros or Discobolus weren't just representations of the human body. They were celebrations of its potential, its athletic grace, and its idealized beauty. And underpinning all of this, the architecture, the art, the philosophy was a revolution in mathematics and science. Thinkers like Pythagoras had already explored the relationship between numbers and the harmony of the cosmos during the Golden Age. Mathematicians like Euclid would later compile the Elements, a textbook for geometry that has been used for over 2,000 years. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, shifted the understanding of illness from divine punishment to natural causes, establishing a code of ethics for doctors that still influences the medical profession today. They sought rational explanations for the world around them, laying the groundwork for the scientific method. This intellectual ferment, this drive to understand and explain, was the engine of the Golden Age. So, how did this brief, brilliant period in a single city-state come to shape the entire course of Western civilization? The answer lies in the ideals they championed. The Greek concept of democratia, or rule by the people, while limited by modern standards, planted the seed for our own democratic governments. Their philosophical inquiries became the foundation of our sciences and humanities. Their dedication to logic and reason is the cornerstone of modern intellectual thought. Their architectural principles of balance and proportion still influence how we design our most important buildings. Their art gave us a standard for beauty that we still strive for. When we talk about a classical education, when we study logic, when we vote in an election, or even when we admire the columns on a government building, we are living in the long shadow of the golden age of Greece. They weren't perfect, but their ambition was staggering: to use human reason to achieve excellence in all things. They created a blueprint for a society built not just on power, but on ideas, beauty, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. It's a legacy that is not just history, it's a living part of our world today. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the moments that shaped our world. Let me know in the comments which part of ancient Greece you find most inspiring. See you next time.